What the heck? Anyway, my internet is not being regular right now, but welcome to Worthy Wednesday. I'm your host, Korean. I am happy to see you. And on this good Worthy Wednesday, first of all, we are 7 days into the 5th month of the year. May is such an amazing month in our history's nation. We celebrate mothers, we celebrate graduations, we celebrate Memorial Day. There are just so many things that happen in the month of May. It's just really a month that has become synonymous with celebration, which I absolutely love that for us, because there are things that we get to celebrate. For our family specifically this year, we will have 2 graduations, which I think is absolutely epic. Gianna graduated just 5 short years ago from high school, and at that time we were in a global pandemic. And so they got to participate in a graduation ceremony, but not in the traditional sense. And here we are, fast forward to 2025, and she will have graduated 2 times since 2020. And my niece, my one and only niece, is graduating from high school, and they'll be graduating in the same week. So Gianna will graduate on Sunday, and Anna J will graduate on Saturday. So our family is having an absolute miracle season to see our next generation finish parts of their education and then continue to go on with what they're going to do. So I'm excited for May. It's a good month so far. But tonight I felt like I really wanted to take a sidebar, which I thought it would actually be a sidebar from Everyday Miracles, but actually it coincides directly with that. And so I want to take a moment just to talk about support. I think growing up, we don't understand or actually recognize the invisible support that people give to us. You know, there's an old adage that says it takes a village to raise a child. And the way I grew up, there was certainly a village. Okay, there was the village at school, there was the village at church, there was a village in my neighborhood. My father was in the military, so the military families are a very close, tight-knit community. Everybody knew everybody, and all the parents kept their eyes on all of us at all times. But as I have become a parent, now almost 23 years, 24 technically in being a parent, I realize that sometimes support is something that we take for granted. But more specifically, Worthy Women, I want to talk about support in relationship to women to women. I have discovered just by listening to podcasts and watching certain documentaries how difficult it is for adults to create and then also maintain adult friendships. It's almost like we have created a culture where you say, I'm just me, I have to take care of me and mine, I don't have time to worry about you and yours over there, I've just got to be an island to myself. And I find it interesting because almost everything you do in life requires an element of support. Support is not just physically being present with that person. Support is also being with that person emotionally, okay? Meaning that if they are walking through something, you help carry that burden with them so they don't feel alone. Sometimes support is mental. The support is mental, where you are constantly reminding that person, that sister, that friend, that, hey, listen, you're not the first person to experience this, and because we understand how powerful the mind is, how powerful it is as God has created it. But understanding that the mind can change how you perceive going forward in your life because of things that are happening. Support requires that you are with someone spiritually. If you believe in the Lord, then you understand how critical it is in the scripture that says that we bear one another's burdens. That doesn't mean I actually can pick up what you're experiencing, but I can be in that valley or on the mountaintop with you, reminding you of the promises and the faithfulness of God. But I really want to tell you a story that's a little bit more personal to me, because I think, what am I saying? Everything I tell you is personal. What the heck? I'm the only person talking about my life, okay? But anyway, I want to, say something that's a little bit more personal to what support has become to me. I have always prided myself, notice the word choice there, completely on purpose for this particular Worthy Wednesday. I have always prided myself on being able to be the person that supports other people, whether that's physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. I would venture to say at certain times it is a high for me. I feel the most seen. I feel the most alive. I feel the most purposeful when I am able to support someone if they are walking through something. And even if they're in a mode of celebration, I want to be able to support people when they're celebrating, when they're mourning, when they're joyful, when they're in inquiry. I just believe that a part of me seeks to be a support to other people. However, worthy women, if you have lived longer than a day and certainly been an adult longer than a day, it is challenging to accept support when you need it. It is also a misnomer to think that you don't need support of other people when you are walking through the different stages of your life. And I can tell you personally that I am not always receptive to people who offer support. I find myself, if I'm being honest, on the other side of being a little bit more wary, a little bit but a little bit more leery of accepting support from people, because I always believe that perhaps they have an ulterior motive, one that I'm not willing to discover, which would cause me to do some things that would probably destroy them, right? So I tend to step back when other people want to offer me support. And it's a little iconic right now in my life that I have been currently walking through something that has caused me to discover that there are women in my life that are supporting me. And I'm kind of like flabbergasted, right? I'm kind of shocked almost that these are women that you would think to yourself, well, I mean, we don't know each other that well. We don't, we have common things that we can talk about and be connected with, but it wouldn't appear to me specifically that these would be the women that would show up and stand in the gap, because support is really standing in the gap, standing in a place that I can't stand in, but I need someone to stand there to give me that assurance that this too will pass in reallife.com, right? So I can tell you, worthy women, that for me specifically, experiencing a level of support from people that you wouldn't expect it to come from is a miracle in itself. I think I have learned, I would just say probably within the five or 6 months of my life, that no one, including me, myself and I, Kareem Michelle, can be in this life and be successful in this life if I don't believe and understand that support of others allows me in the mission that I am on to be continued in a way that brings life back to me when life has sucked life right out of me, right? So I find it interesting that we don't even recognize the power of being present, because honestly, support is being present. It's standing in the gap. It is consistency. See, we teach our children to be consistent in their behavior, in their choices, in their manners, right? In their schoolwork. And if they're old enough to have a little part-time job, we explain to them how important it is to do your work and to do it well. But that's exactly what support does. Support supports the person well. It gives them that assurance that, hey, these things that you have done prior to this moment, all of those seeds that have been sown, now we have experienced some time and now we are in the harvest of that. Like, support helps you realize that even though the current situation in your life might not be exactly what you were hoping, you have people in your life to remind you of the good that is still present in that difficult and tense moment, and that good will come again, like the sun. These are things that we say, but we don't understand the magnitude of what we're saying. There's no one on the planet that understands and says to the sun, hey, we really appreciate you being consistent every day. No one says that to the sun. The sun is a burning, boiling hot star. It's hot, gaseous, flames everywhere. And it comes and it shines every day because the Lord causes the sun to shine and he causes the sun to set, right? We don't go outside talking about, hey, sun, way to go. We come outside with the expectation that the sun is going to shine unless there are clouds in the sky. And that's how you should see and understand what support looks like. I don't need to come out here telling you that I believe in you, that I'm with you. I need to show up consistently. I need to stand in the place that you cannot stand, and I need to do it all the time. And I'm telling you, worthy women, what I'm learning now at this stage in my life is how critical it is to understand that support does not cost me anything. It costs the person that is giving it the most, because that person not only has to recognize that there is a need that that friend or that girlfriend, that sister, that mom, that cousin, that niece, that coworker that they have, they also have to be willing to meet it. Like, support requires a level of selflessness from the person who wants to give it. If I want to support someone in their dream, I have to be willing to take what I would like to do in that moment and put that to the side in order to fully give all of me to that woman that I am standing in the gap for. I am showing up for her consistency. I am committed to her reaching that dream. See, support requires me to understand I'm not the reason why this person is able to get what God has ordained for them to get, but I am part of the miracle in them understanding the depth of the miracle that they receive when they finally get to that place. Like, this is the best way I can describe it, and probably because I understand this because I'm in this moment in my life. No one prepares you for how fast time travels when you become a parent from 0 until 18. No one tells you how fast 0 to 5 travels. No one tells you how fast kindergarten goes, and no one tells you how fast 1st through 12th grade goes. But what I understand is that there's a level of support that is required at each grade level in order to help my daughter recognize that she is capable of continuing and going further. It requires me to step into the place where she is and be consistent, to be committed, and to stand in the gap in moments where she thinks, well, maybe I can and maybe I can't. And I am learning that graduation is not really the culmination of you completing your degree or finishing high school or finishing middle school or finishing kindergarten. Graduation is the evidence of support. Support from your parents, support from your aunts, your uncles, the people at your church, the people in your youth group, people if you worked at your job. Those people supported you. They understood the sacrifices you were making to go to school and work full time and be a mom and be a wife and be all these things. Graduation is the evidence of support. It allows all of the people who have stood in the gap at the time they were assigned. They were committed at the time they were assigned. They were consistent at the time they were assigned. And now all of us are experiencing the miracle, the reward of support. I can tell you right now, obviously my daughter is getting her MBA, my niece is earning her high school diploma. Obviously they had to do the work, right? I mean, I didn't take any classes. I've been there, done that, got my MBA already, right? Been to high school, got my diploma, no need to repeat that. But my job is not to take away from the assignment that they have, which is to do the work. My job is to support them while they're in it so they understand that something better is coming. You're almost to the place where you can see this is what all this work has done and prepared me for. The miracle of being able to go to school, to play sports, to meet friends, to have interactions, to learn, to expand, to grow. All of those things occur as a miracle that we, and maybe not you, but I have taken for granted, in the sense that I thought, well, isn't this what we're supposed to do? Isn't this the next logical step in the sequence of events? But I am currently living in a time where I realize graduation for my daughter at the tender age of 22 with her master's degree, and my niece at 17 with her high school diploma, is the direct result of support. Support from her mom, support from my parents, support from me, support from any teacher, any friend group that made a difference, that allowed my niece and my daughter to know that consistency will pay off, that because of seed, time, and harvest, you will reap the reward of doing this. And in that time and in that space, you and they have experienced many miracles. This is the miracle for me, you guys, is not the graduation. That is a guarantee if you stay the course. If you stay the course, some things are guaranteed. And that is the beauty of God. There are things that are just guaranteed. The sun will shine. Again, joy does come in the morning. Graduation comes when you have completed the task at hand. And I actually understand now why support is absolutely critical to success. When you cannot find the words, when you cannot find help, when you cannot find strength, even there are times if you've lived long enough, you feel like you can't even pray. Support are those sisters that come and stand in the gap and pray for you, pray with you, pray you through those situations in order for you to get to the place that you are supposed to be. I cannot emphasize enough, worthy women, how important support is. Like, I really thought this is such a sidebar, Karee. This really doesn't have anything to do with miracles, but I am telling you what I am currently experiencing in my life is because supportive women who have rallied around me, and not even that I've done anything where it becomes a tick for tack. Well, I've supported you here, so now you're doing this for me. No, support is given selflessly of those who issue it to that person because they want that person to know this too is an everyday miracle. Support is a miracle. It is a miracle that honestly, it is a gift. It is a gift that God provides all of us, and we take it for granted. We take it for granted because we want to say, I don't need you for that. I don't need people for this. But that's a lie. You need people to support your dream, to support who you believe you should be. Support means I'm standing in a place to let you know you can become exactly who you were destined to be. I am consistently reminding you that this is something that will not destroy you. It will teach you something if you allow it, and it will allow you to grow to the next part of your life. I am committed to you as a support person to do what you might not be able to do, whether that's cry, whether that's cook, whether that's put gas in your car, whether that's take you to lunch, whatever that consistency and commitment looks like. Support is something that I freely give. I literally have been changed over the last year of my life by support of women that gave of themselves and asked nothing in return. And when you experience support, I'm just going to tell you, like, although graduation to me is a mirror of what happens when you have support in your life, I am telling you that you graduate from trials or tests or difficulties when God, on purpose, because he's like that, surrounds you with people that give of themselves with no intention of taking anything back, with no intention of getting anything back, but just reminding you that they're showing up and standing in the gap to encourage you to run on. I have been changed. Me, a girl who always said I'm comfortable by myself. I like being by myself, which is true. I still do. I ain't gonna lie. I do. I enjoy leading things because I like to be bossy. I enjoy making sure that other people receive support and guidance and encouragement. But I am now in the place where I am on the receiving end of that. And as difficult as it is for me to say out loud, the support that I have received has humbled me. It has changed me. It has encouraged me. It has uplifted me. And that, worthy women, is the power of miracles. That is why a miracle is divine intervention. Support requires those that love your neighbor as themselves, those that want to sow seeds amongst other people. Support requires me to give to someone in a place that they cannot give themselves. I am being supported right now. Honestly, I'm gonna just tell you how they used to say back in the day, I am living on and in the prayers of my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mother, right? And I am telling you that prayer is a support. If you're praying for someone, you're supporting them. If you're helping someone pay their rent, you're supporting them. If worthy woman is support. You need to understand that you are participating in a real live miracle, and it's not even for you, but it is changing. I am telling you, worthy women, support in my life right now is changing me. It's changing me to see God differently. It's changing me to see that certain things that have happened in my life, although I was alone, although I felt isolated, although I felt ostracized, there was always someone standing in the gap, selflessly giving of their time, their commitment, their consistency, and I didn't even know that was a miracle. I am, y'all, low-key, I'm flabbergasted, okay? Because I know who I am. This girl knows this girl in the mirror. And I can tell you that understanding and receiving support is life-altering. A lot of people don't cheer out loud. A lot of people cheer silently. A lot of people don't give out loud, they give silently. But I want to encourage you to support somebody out loud. If someone did something phenomenal, freaking tell them, girl, I am so proud of you that you did that. Dr. Tanya Strozier, I'll tell you, you and your sister building these schools, your baby getting a PhD, girl, you killing that. It matters that people can stand in a place that you might not feel seen in. Support is just another way of being seen, and I am learning that. I am learning that when people can see who you are consistently, when they can recognize that your heart is to do well to all that are in your realm of influence, that's a miracle that somebody sees me. It's a miracle because God uses people on earth. You know that, right? Like when people say that's just the universe, no, boo-boo. That's God. God uses people on earth, even people that don't acknowledge him. He uses them to be miracles in other people's lives. And that, my dear, dear worthy women, is what you're doing when you support other women. I just want you guys to know support is, it's life-changing. It has literally altered my brain chemistry because now I can see myself, that I don't have to choose to be alone. I don't have to think that this is just how my life will be forever. I'll always be by myself. People will always misunderstand me. No, I'm here to tell you that on purpose, because miracles require divine intervention in timing, in events, in locations that only he would know when you needed to be supported. Y'all, I'm telling you this because I am mind blown. This from a girl who literally would walk alone forever and never think twice about it. But because everyday miracles occur, that same girl is experiencing something that only a God would know that I needed. So I'm telling you, and I'm challenging you this week, especially in the month of May, when we celebrate mothers and we celebrate graduation, look at the evidence of support in your life. Look at the evidence of support in your life. Look at your children, look at your grandchildren, look at your nieces and your nephews, look at their accomplishments. And heck, you don't even got to look at that stuff. Look at them alive. Look at them breathing. Look at them in their right minds. That is the miracle of someone standing in the gap, consistently committed to them becoming the best of who they could be. Y'all, I'm mind blown by this. I'm just telling you in reallife.com because I know who I am, and I know that I have literally said for years, I don't care if anyone supports me, it's fine. I'm going to just keep walking. I'm going to just keep doing what I can do, and I'm just going to move on. But there came a time in my life within the last year that the Lord said, oh no, ma'am, I'm going to show you that you have not sustained any of this. I mean, duh. But I'm going to prove it to you by circling you and enveloping you with women and men who speak into you and understand that you have not come this far by yourself. Okay, support is crazy. Okay. So the next time you think about miracles, the next time you think about what your life has become, I want you to know that there are days that you are looking at things and it's the evidence of support in your life. And that too, worthy women, is a miracle. Y'all, I'm gonna just tell you right now, I love it here. Okay. I really love it for myself. I'm not gonna lie. I really love it for myself. And I am thankful for those that have right now at this time in my life been supporting me. It's life changing. Anyway, I love y'all. I'll see you next week.